Oh,
What's up, Nackie?
what's up, boo?
What's for breakfast?
English muffin,
English muffin with cream cheese or with butter or
butter.
uh, no eggs.
Uh-uh.
What do you make a mousse?
I'm making most of shit.
Good
He's sleeping. He can't
morning.
eat anything. He's sick.
Oh, that's right. He's still recovering from whatever ailment that you gave him.
So good morning.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Faika Broadcast. I am your host, Carl. With me, your lovely host, Nackie. Good morning, Nackie.
Good morning.
And today we are in separate zip codes once again. Naki's in her
Mhm.
bedroom. I'm in my daughter's old bedroom.
Yeah.
We're in our home offices, socially distanced by 50 miles. Hopefully, next week, I believe next week, we will be reunited in Naki's Nook area with our equipment. So we're
Yeah.
Zoom live for the last time, hopefully today. We're going to talk about COVID-19 as it hasn't hit very close. It's hit home. Um, I will be asking Naki to share her experience with COVID-19.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to talk about cancer. We're going to talk about a whole bunch of stuff. So, no guests today, just the two of us. That's our show today. Naki, what's good?
Good morning. So good morning to people who are watching us live on Facebook. Our Brittany Afu is checking in from Utah. And my mom is on, Evelyn Fooley, who should be getting ready for church. George and Rebecca Chica, good morning, everyone who's tuned in. Thank you for joining us this morning. So, this week I was in and out of bed. My family, um, we tested positive for COVID-19. And so there's 5 of us in the house, and we all had various symptoms. Like I had a headache, and just was so exhausted and had anxiety for a minute. And we were really checking our breathing because one of the major symptoms for um, COVID is breathing. And if your breathing is altered in any way, that's major.
Hey,
And
Naki,
yeah,
can we back up a minute? Can we
yeah,
back up a second? So, did you get COVID from going to Disneyland or let's say
no,
going to a birthday party or
no,
something irresponsible like that?
nope.
So that's one of the things that we've always talked about is being safe and playing our part in it. And this did not come from irresponsible behavior.
Right, right. So we had our Thanksgiving at home, and which just me and my 5 kids, and we um we got it during Thanksgiving. Um so on the 28th, I was notified that I was exposed to someone who tested positive, and then we quarantined right away. Everyone to their own rooms, and we literally did not see each other until the following Tuesday. We FaceTimed in the house. We FaceTimed, and then Tuesday we went to go get tested. And that was the first time I had seen my kids and Mo in a couple of days. So Mo and Minna had I'd say, the most serious symptoms. Mo had flu-like symptoms. He had the chills and was coughing, and my Minna was sick. And so we put them in a different car to go get tested. And then me and my 2 little ones rode in our own car. And my youngest tested negative. And so, because quarantine is, a stretch of 14 days or until it's 3 days of no symptoms, continuous days of no symptoms, my oldest daughter and her fiance came to get my baby, and she's been with them since, oh gosh, maybe last Monday. So it is 7 days. And so Mo, who is 60, I know, right?
Well, you got to get that shot in, right?
Yeah. Mo, who is 60, he's 20 years older than me. He had the most serious symptoms, and so I was worried about him because he's been out. So, like, I've never seen him this sick, and he's coughing, and so we were checking on him. I don't know why I'm about to cry. I think because my kids, my girls, were so worried about their dad, because we've never seen him out like this. Like, usually when he has the flu or something, he still is running around. And because of COVID, we were so worried about his breathing that we checked on him every couple of hours. We made sure he got his meds. We kept checking, waking him up and checking his breathing. And my kids, my girls their dad is everything. So they were a little freaked out. So we tried to stay on top of him. And so the good thing about it is Dr. Samoa, Reno Samoa, kept like he knew that we had contacted COVID, or was diagnosed with COVID. And so he would call us every day and text to see how we all were doing, but really just to check on Mo. Um, so he's doing he's getting better every day. So that's good. I think the worst symptom that I had was I lost my sense of taste and smell. And that sucks because then you can't taste anything. So now that I've got my sense of taste and smell back, I'm so grateful. Like, I'm like eating an English muffin. I'm like, oh, this is so good. I get to taste it. And so yeah,
Does
so
that make it hard to eat anything just because it's so bland?
yeah, it's like I really lost my appetite, which really I need to keep losing my sense of taste and smell because I lost my appetite. Like, I would just usually like, I don't know, I had a bowl of chicken and rice last night. Just about this, it was a really small bowl and I couldn't even finish it. Well, one, because I wasn't that hungry, but and I can taste it. I think it takes a couple of days for me to get back to where I need to be. And so um yeah, and so all of us we're getting better, and Mo is slowly recovering. His coughing is still a little bit crazy, but it's a lot better than it has been. And so really, people have been like, Leah sent us dinner one night. People are sending us gifts. Speaking of gifts, Funga sent me this shirt. It says Lototele. I'm sure it's from Malu Designs. It's courage. And so I put that on this morning. I wanted to thank Fanga Misa, who is with Samoan Solutions. And so um, it really made my heart warm. But and Instacart, like, I never used Instacart before in my life. That is such a lifesaver. I may never go back to the grocery store again. So we're a lot better. I order everything through Instacart. We have not left the house, literally have not left the house. Mena left the house today, and she's been like 3 or 4 days without symptoms. But she just went to Starbucks because
Kind of
because we need Starbucks.
how when you look at your family, you can directly go by age. Youngest didn't get it.
Yes.
Next youngest got it, but no symptoms, like
Yeah.
not symptomatic at
Yes.
all.
Hmm.
Being a collegiate level athlete and
Right.
having that kind of fitness probably
Yeah.
helped. And then the next go up the rung, the next to the next level, and Mena got it, but it was the least symptoms of the people who had symptoms,
Right.
and then you, and then mostly you just go by
Yeah.
age, and you can see
Right.
pretty directly what they've talked about, that the younger people don't. It doesn't affect the younger people.
Mm-hmm.
Malia didn't even get it, and
Yeah,
then
she did. Well, and a lot of it is during Thanksgiving, she was up in her room with her cousin and they stayed upstairs the whole time playing video games.
uh,
So I think that helped too. And also she's the youngest, you know what I mean?
right.
But I think, and I was just worried about my girls because they were worried about me because my immune system is compromised and they were worried about the old man. So um
Watch your mouth.
Yeah, I
Watch your
know. So we're grateful. I mean, I'm so grateful for everybody that reached out, checked to see if we needed anything. And then some people who didn't even ask and just dropped food off in front of my house. So I appreciate it. We got banana bread from Manufo
mouth.
Heavenly yesterday. We got our chili casserole from Leah Poasa. So I'm so grateful for everyone who has sent us prayers, and that's exactly what we needed. And it's totally working. I just wanted to shout out some people that are watching us live on Facebook. Yvette Monomea, who is our girl. Go, Yvette, go.
I'm so
Um,
proud of her. I'm
I'm
so proud of
super proud of her. Connie Achika is on. Lena Manuleleua. Good morning, sister. Deja Afrotanis Speaks is on. Deja,
her.
who had surgery this week. So we just want to give her big prayers of healing and love. And go check out her podcast, The Real Tautala. The last episode, she sings. And so if you know Deja, her voice is like butter. She
But when
has
she's talking, she's almost singing. Like
yeah.
when she's just talking and not quote singing,
Yeah,
it still sounds very melodic.
right.
And
So go check out the Real Taltala. The last episode, it's her singing a song, and it's really, really beautiful, and it's soothing. And I listened to that a couple of times this week since I was COVID, and it really helps soothe my soul. So she has a beautiful voice. Go check her out. But yeah, COVID-19 is really, really no joke. Like you and I are one of the biggest pushers and advocates for COVID-19. And you never know when you could be as safe as you want to be. And you just never know. Somebody touched a surface, you know what I mean? Or was around somebody who was exposed. You just never know where other people that don't live in your house, you never know where they're at or where they've been and what they've touched. And, so I'm grateful that my family is getting better, and my son and his girlfriend are better and healthy. And so, and my Evie and her fiance, they tested negative. So it was awesome. So I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful that Mo is getting better because he was a little scary.
so did you because you got to self quarantine and you guys
Mhm.
basically retreated to your rooms. Did you ever get any family time to sit and talk about like how, like a scary, right? But
Right.
then you're being separated from everybody because you can't go down to the living room and
Mhm.
say, hey, how are you feeling? Or this
Right.
really freaks me out, or those kind of things. Were you able to have those conversations or oh, you
We
guys are FaceTiming, right?
Yeah, we had our group FaceTime. Like it's kind of funny because we group FaceTime, we're all in the same house. But we just checked in with everybody, made sure everyone was okay. And, my lay who would make like her dad something would either put it in front of the door and then, knock and walk away. And then
Isn't
we
that
all,
funny how the youngest ends up being asymptomatic and that's going to be the ones doing all the running, you know what I mean?
all
The
the
youngest
house,
always
all,
ends up with all the chores anyway. And then
yeah,
she's asymptomatic, so of course she gets it because
yeah.
she's so healthy. Like she works out all the time. She's a, collegiate athlete. So
Yeah, she works
that
out all the time. And, I'm grateful to be on Koviki Talk. Because of that, I get all kinds of information that just stuck to my head. Don't do this, make sure you stay quarantined. I mean, I know everybody knows it, but because of, Dr. Young and Dr. Samoa and Dr. Aita Otto, I mean, all these amazing doctors who give us information and really tell us how COVID-19 works and breaks it down and how it, you know what I mean? So I'm grateful to be in that space, to know what I need to look for, what I don't need to look, you know what I mean? What is major, what isn't major, even though it's all major. Anything COVID-19 is major, but it's serious if you have to worry about the breathing. So
right.
that's Mo had us kind of crazy worried about his breathing and his coughing. So everybody's getting better. I am tired of staying home. And so I'm ready to break loose, break out of this joint. And so, there you go.
Yeah, I went to look at an office space where we might move our studio.
Mhm.
And Nackie says on Friday, "Oh, I'll meet you there." And I'm like, "No, you're gonna stay home." So I know you're itching to get out of there.
my God, dying to get out of here. Like technically I can go back to work on the 15th, which is Tuesday. And but I'm on vacation. So technically I'm not going back to work until the beginning of the year, which is awesome because I feel like I still need to rest and I don't want to jinx it, but in case we move into our building, our new office space, I can help. So
Yeah,
yeah, I think that was it. Last week you had Dr. Ah Young on, which was awesome. He's super crazy amazing. And so that was a really good show. So thank you for doing that.
oh,
Carrying on,
it didn't
carrying on.
feel the same, but um, it was nice doing the one-on-one thing with Dr.
Yeah.
I. We've had
Yeah.
him several times on Koviki Talk,
Hmm.
and I think it maybe is just the more informal nature of FICA that
Yeah.
just he seemed like much
Relax.
less formal.
Yeah.
And it was
Yeah.
fun. It was fun to chop it up with him, kind of on a different level. But then, once he starts talking science, I gotta ask all the dumb questions. Wait, what does that mean?
No, but no question is ever dumb. They always say that. They're awesome at trying to break it down for us and so I love that we get to be in spaces with these amazing people and we always say how did we get here like how did we get to be in a room with all these crazy amazing people so
Well, when you
that was a
roll
really
off
good
the
show.
name, three different doctors that we talk to on a regular
Oh
basis,
my God,
um,
I
that
know.
makes me feel special.
Me
Like
too.
Dr. Aita Oto, Dr. Ah Young, Dr. Samoa. But it
Right.
must be nice to, I mean, big ups, big shout out to Dr. Samoa. And you know that your family's not the only family. Uh,
Hmm.
he's just been a huge resource, and I guess I'd say profile, but that's not from the sense of,
Right.
having a big following or image or that kind of thing, but he's really stepped up and done things with the community that are the effects are far reaching.
Oh
And
my God, he's
personal
crazy.
calls like that, that's awesome.
Yeah, he calls every day to check on us and make sure we're okay. I think a lot of it is, we lost Margarita Santini this year, and that was just a hard blow for everybody. And she was on the National Pacific Islander COVID response team, which is what we're a part of. And so we never met her physically, but we were in meetings with her. We had her on Koviki Talk, and so it really hit home for him too. He's like, I don't want that to happen to anybody else. I want everyone that I love to survive, and he wants to get everyone the tools they need to do that. So
Yeah.
I love Dr. Samoa. He cares about the community as well as Dr. Nia and Pati. They're doing a kick-ass job getting the information out to Pacific Islanders. So I'm blessed to be in that space with them.
I think Rita Satini passing away
Yeah.
was like that literally sent like shockwaves through the community, the activist community.
Yeah.
She was so involved, and I've talked to several different people who were like, well, no, 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 Rita, which Rita Satini? Yeah, no, I hear what you're saying, Rita Satini, but not Rita. Like
Right.
I was talking to Tau Nu'uve'e, and she said the same thing. Like when you were on the phone with me, I was like, well, not Rita that we just were on the show with, and we were both like trying to figure out like, is that who? Like we were in denial about that could
Yeah.
happen
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
somebody so dedicated to not having that kind of thing happen to people in our community. And it just goes to show that COVID doesn't care if you're a Republican or a Democrat or
Nope.
I mean,
It doesn't discriminate.
right. It doesn't discriminate. Um, so I'm so happy to, and you and I have been talking, not even daily, like hourly, as you guys have gone through this.
Mm,
And so I'm so happy to hear that everybody's pulling through. Uh,
yeah.
and the oldest person is the one that had the hardest time with it.
Right.
But you also found out something else. Found out that um, Sunga could get
Una could get
could
COVID.
get COVID.
My fur baby. Yeah, your dog can get let me just shout out some people that are watching live on Facebook. Sorry. Amosa is on. Good morning, Amosa. Ciela Taoa. Good morning. Eva Seao. Natasha Pomele. Good morning. Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate you. And Tiffany Valpule Aarons, my niece, is on. So good morning to everyone. Yeah, Sunga is can get COVID-19, but they actually have a vaccine for dogs. And it's not as severe, the symptoms for dogs, as it is humans.
Right.
So I'm glad that there's a vaccine for fur babies in case they get it. But if they do get it, it's not, it's like, I don't know, the cold for them, I'm guessing. So,
So the vaccine, let's talk about the vaccine.
right.
That is, Biden is saying once after his inauguration, 100 million vaccinations in the first 100 days. Um, now that you've had COVID, does that change? And I'm not asking if you were going to get it before if you were going to do the vaccine before you got COVID. I'm saying, does that change your idea on getting the vaccine, or where do you stand now with you and your family?
Um, I think because we all had COVID, I think we're immune to it. Um, I believe that is that we can't get it again.
If only there was somebody we knew we could ask.
Yeah. So once you get COVID, I'm sure now that I've had COVID, I have the antibodies in me. So I'm 99.9% sure that I cannot get it again. But I would also like, I mean, I would take the vaccine. I would take it. Yeah, I would. Um, and, it's been through a million tests. Like they're not, you know what I mean? Like, don't think that they just created it and then passing it on to us. No, it's been through millions and millions of tests and run throughs. And so before we even get it, it's already, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's, I don't know, it's been run through everything. So, and no one has died yet. No one has died from, the testing.
I think
And
that as we, I guess there's different groups. There's, uh, the immune compromised and the people with comorbidities. There's frontline workers.
right.
There's different groups. I guess they're gonna tier that out. Um, but I think as a lot of the people that are saying they're not going to get it or they don't know, I think that as millions of people take this around the world,
Mhm.
people's minds will either find out, or
Right.
the more that it goes, it'll be kind of a snowball effect where more people are like, okay, like 65 million people have taken it now.
Right.
The first group went 3 months ago. You know what I mean? So I think
Yeah.
that the more information is out there, the less the fear the vaccine is going to be. But the difference may be that you and I have had, direct exposure. And for those of you that have watched Koviki Talks, if you haven't watched the first couple episodes, go back and watch those. And Dr. Young and Dr. Samoa do a really good job of explaining the clinical trials and how they're not shortcutting anything. The money from Operation Time Warp, Speed Warp, Warp Speed,
Right.
really allowed them to do a lot of things that they wouldn't be able to do so quickly because of the money and because of the funding. But yeah, I
And
was just kind of interested in that. Like, what would you still go get the vaccine now that you've actually had it?
yeah.
So that's interesting to know. So one of the things that Nackie can speak to is Nackie was really, really sick in February. And she was adamant that she had COVID-19.
I
And
was
I pretty much believed it too, because I was in the car with her. I was at community meetings where she slept through the entire community meeting in a different room.
Mhm.
So I was kind of that belief as well. And then, that's why you still need to be careful, because we were pretty sure that you had COVID. And there's a lot of people that think that they had COVID in January or February. And yet, here we are, you're recovering from COVID. So
Yeah,
even if, Go ahead.
I self-diagnosed myself in February when I was like ill. I thought I was going to die. And I had breathing problems. I had a hard time breathing. I got a pump spray or albuterol, and I was
Flu-like
doing,
symptoms.
yeah, and I was doing that like 3 to 4 times a day. I thought I was going to die. And I went to emergency a couple of times. And back then they weren't testing for COVID. So, after that happened, I was like, oh, I've had COVID. I listened to all the symptoms and I was like, yeah, I already had it. So, but yeah, no, it was just the bad flu or something because when I got tested and tested positive, I was like, what the hell? But real quick about the clinical trials, they are going on like continuous. So if you're interested in doing the clinical trials for the vaccine, you can go to COVID-19 and they on their website and clinical trials, and you can sign up. And the reason why I bring this up is because we need Pacific Islanders to sign up and join the clinical trials, because I think we had this talk that they have all the other races or whatever taking or in this clinical trial. And so if you're a Latino and the vaccine works for you, but if I'm a Pacific Islander and I take the vaccine and it doesn't work for me, like maybe because of our genes or our DNA or something, being a Pacific Islander, it may not work. That's why we encourage people who are healthy to try out for the vaccine. And there's a questionnaire. You may or may not qualify, but I would love to see Pacific Islanders in there in the clinical trials, just so that we get an accurate, I don't know,
Sample.
what, yeah, just so we see how our community reacts to the vaccine. Because honestly, if we don't try out for or go try to be in the clinical trials, we won't know how the vaccine reacts to us until we actually need it. So I thought that was really good that Dr. Young was saying that we really do need Pacific Islanders to apply. It's really you don't automatically qualify. There's a questionnaire. You have to at least be 18 years and older and healthy. And so that was awesome. I thought, sorry. I just,
No, don't be sorry. That's we need to get involved in a lot more things as a community, and that's one of them. Being especially now, clinical trials are especially with our health concerns. We have so many different health issues as a people that anything that's health related, we should get involved with. Oh, what'd you get? What'd you get? Is that Starbucks?
I got Starbucks pumpkin cream brew, cold brew, pumpkin cream cold brew.
Mm,
I got a venti. I I love coffee. So I get up this morning to make my pot of coffee and there's no more coffee. And I was like, who makes the last pot of coffee and doesn't say anything?
there's rules to that. That's a
There's
rule.
rule. Yeah.
Got to let people know. Actually, the responsibility is to make the next pot if you have the last cup.
Right. Right. So I was a little grumpy this morning, but I feel much better. Lena, Malio Tulua, Alene, Malai, thank you for tuning in. People that are checking us out live on Facebook, thank you. We appreciate you. And so, yeah, also last week I was watching the show. It was a really good show. I just wanted to mention that Booyah Tribe, they lost a member last week. Big, this group was
Gangster
like,
Rid.
what's that?
Gangster Rid.
Gangster Rid, Paul, aka Paul. So that was huge for the PI community because they were, if not the first, I know gangster rap, PIs that made it onto the scene, so that when we seen them, it was so rare. We were like, oh my God, there's someone's, on MTV, right? We were just, oh my God. And so it was a big, huge loss to the PI community that Gangsta Rid from the Booyah tribe passed away last week. So condolences to his family and the whole Booyah tribe, big major loss. I thought that was a big thing because, when I seen them on TV, I was like, oh my God,
You in
there's
your
Samoans
20s or
on
30s in
TV.
the 80s, that you had that cassette. You had the cassette. You might have wore that cassette out and bought another one, but we all had that album. I remember reading when I was at Tower Records. I remember reading an article in the Pulse magazine, which was like it was the magazine about rap music, and um, the well, one of the reporters was talking about how they were going to go interview the Booyah tribe, and apparently they had said something bad in an interview earlier, and the reporter was saying how he was thinking, I wonder if they're going to remember, like, and he said that the first thing that happened was, uh, he said, and this is the way he wrote it. He goes, some Samoan that looked like he was 7 foot and 400 pounds came walking out and looked at our group and said, which one of you is the guy that wrote that article? And he goes, I was the first time that I was, sometimes I've been in neighborhoods where I felt like I might get shot or something. He goes, that I was literally afraid that I was about to get beat up. They were that was a big name group for Pacific Islanders to
Oh yeah,
look at and say, hey, we're in the mix. We're doing, because that was it. That was music in the 80s. The rap music, gangster rap was
right.
that was cutting edge.
Yeah, that was huge. So it was awesome to see them on TV, and it was, it made, even if you didn't like gangster rap, you were just so proud to see someone that looked like you on MTV, the videos, the music, you heard it on the radio. It was pretty amazing. It was pretty
That's
amazing.
how our people are. I mean, you think about, like, there's plenty of people that don't Pacific Islanders that don't like golf. That if you flip in the channels through and you see Finau, you see
Now
that
you're gonna stop.
you're
Right.
gonna you're gonna root for, you're gonna say, I hope he wins. And we talked about that with your daughter playing volleyball,
Yeah.
um, where people that in other cultures would be, quote, strangers,
Yeah.
pull up a chair and cheer for somebody they don't even know because they're, wow, that looks like, I think she's Samoan, I think she's Polynesian. Well, then you're, standing cheering, and you haven't even actually met the person.
Yeah,
So
that I love that our culture does that. Joseph Talmua, good morning. I love that when we don't know each other, but we see each other on the street, we do the nod, or we do malo, you do the nod, you do, or, you just, hey, how are you? And I know that before I would just, hey, now when I see people, I'm like, hey, good morning. Hey, hey, I'm Pacific Islander too, but I love that we do that. And I know I told this story before, but my daughter was playing volleyball and these two Samoan girls were walking by and they didn't know my daughter. They just stopped to watch her because
and you saw this from afar. You were
I
further
was
up.
watching from afar and I was watching them walk by and I thought, I wonder if Lay knows them. And then, they seen that Lay was the only Pacific Islander on the team and they were cheering for her and everything. And then in the middle of the game, I walked over to them to say hi. And I thought they knew my daughter and they did not know my daughter. They said that they were walking by and seen a Pacific Islander girl on the court and just stopped to cheer. And that happened early on during PVD. And I thought, man, our people are freaking amazing, right? We just cheer on because we know it's us, and there's at that time there were so few and far between that we stopped to support each other. So that I love that was awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, so COVID, that was my week. It's been that for 14, it'll be 14 days tomorrow. And so yeah, COVID is no joke. It's like literally going to drive me crazy because I cannot leave the house. I can't even go to Starbucks. I tried to go to Starbucks. So I tried to go to Starbucks the other day. Was it yesterday or the day before?
Day before, I remember the story,
Day before. And I said,
and I
I
love
want to
your
get
daughter.
out of the house. I want to get out of the house. I'm going to go to Starbucks. So I tell Mena, I said, I'm going to go to Starbucks, make a list, whoever wants something. And they're like, Mom, you can't go. And I said, I'm just going to stay in my car. I'm going to wear gloves. I'm going to put a mask on. They're like, no, Mom, you can't go. And I was like, it'll be really quick. And she's like, if you go to Starbucks, I can't wait till Koviki talk. I'm going to be in the messages talking smack about you. And I was like, oh, I hate you. So then she ends up going. And I tell Mo, I call Mo on the phone and I tell him, and I go, oh, I was going to go to Starbucks. And Mena said she can't wait till Koviki talks. She's going to get in the chat and talk smack about me. And then we start laughing. And then Mo's like, I hate her. I was like, I hate her too. So I hate when she's right. But
Love you, Mena. Yeah.
so yeah, there you go. But that was my whole week is COVID. So I think I just bombarded the conversation. How was your week?
No, that's what we wanted to. My week was good. I really concentrated on my walking this week. Um, and
You're
then
doing amazing. You're like walking crazy amount of miles.
I'm about 6 miles a day. Uh,
Wow.
I don't think I want to go above 7. I think between 5 and 6 are probably going to be where I end up. It just takes too long. I can't walk very fast. So
Mhm.
I'm either breaking them up into small walks or taking, like an hour long walk. And I don't know that I can squeeze that in every day, but I've been focusing on that. And what was I again? I had another. After treatment. Today's day 2 after treatment, and man, I slept till 9 o'clock.
Whoa.
Um, almost 9 o'clock. I don't know. I slept a long,
Yeah.
and treatment may change. My PSA numbers have gone up, and that's really the measurement of prostate cancer. So I'm working with the oncologist and the doctor that matters, Nick, my
Yeah.
wife, who is truly my advocate. Um, she holds her own in conversations with doctors, with specialists.
Mhm.
She's a scientist at heart, and so she's in the room with the doctor asking questions. Where the doctor is like, "Are you in the medical field? Like, do you work in a medical office? Are you a nurse?" I've heard that asked before. Um, but I posted this on Facebook on Friday that I have an amazing team of people that are focused on my health, and that's just a gift every day. And here's what I was going to. So yesterday, so Friday, I put there on there that I believe I have an amazing team of people that care about my health and
Mhm.
help me in my journey. And then yesterday, I left for a walk. And when I walked out, there was a bag, like a gift bag with a note inside of it. And inside of it was a bowl of soup
Oh,
that
nice.
Heidi Kashoyan, thank you, Heidi, I love you, had left. And it was just one of those, hey, here's just like you're saying, like somebody dropped something off at your house.
Mhm.
Part of it is, hey, I mean, the soup was amazing. Like the soup was, I was eating too much. At the end of it, I was like, I'm not even hungry anymore, and I'm eating the rest of the soup. But it was the fact that somebody, made the soup and drove it over and left it on my door. Didn't even knock. I mean, we didn't see it till we came out.
Oh.
Um, and no text message with it. Just, I love you. Here you go. So that warmed my heart. And then later that day, I, like you, got a shirt from Fanga.
Mhm.
And the same thing. It's Manu Malo Victorious, and she was saying that that made her think of me, and she knows I'm going to be victorious. So two things in a day where people just people love you, so they
Mhm.
send you things, or they say the
Right.
words, or they send you a text message, or any of those. So to get those two things, especially because they just showed up at my door, um, yesterday was a really good day. I mean, I was hurting from treatment on Friday and trying to get through the day yesterday, and those two things were amazing. So, thank you, Fangamisa
Yeah.
and Samoan Solutions, and then
I
thank
know I
you.
have my shirt on.
Yeah, I'm gonna wear mine next week. I wore
Yeah.
this because I didn't get a bug you last week with it. I had wore it.
Uh,
Pati
that
wasn't.
that really doesn't bug me.
wasn't adequately irritated, so I had to wear this today.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so that helped me get through the day. And I'm still a little worn down right now, but you talking for 45 minutes of the hour helped me get through it. So thank you too.
I know. I know. I'm just a little chatterbox because I was just I've been cooped up in my house. Cooped up in my house. But yeah, I do. I want to thank Nick too because Nick was my doctor too during my cancer run, and she went with to me. Well, she went with me to all my appointments and broke everything down. And really, I just sat there and the doctor talked to her. I was just there just because. So
That
yeah.
happened Friday in the doctor's office. Dr. Kyleth is his
Mhm.
name. He came in and then immediately was like, "So what are we doing?" And he and Nick just break into this conversation. At one point, he looks over and he goes, "Good morning, Carl." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm the patient, but hey,
Yeah,
you two
you
do."
do what you need to do. Yeah, she's
But
awesome.
that's real. If you are going through a journey, a health
Mhm.
journey, any of these kind of things where you're doing doctor's appointments, you need an advocate.
Right.
And I just remember things that Nick said early on is you are not there to be told, here's what you're going to do, and then just accept it.
Yeah.
Uh, you need to know, what you're doing. And I remember helping a family member recently where they were going through it and just giving them questions and saying, look, you need to understand the whole picture. If you don't understand the whole picture, have them explain it again
Right.
or, ask different questions. But, it's not like, because you'll have that happen. You'll have doctors come in the room and they're looking at their watch and you can tell like they gotta, they're looking at their
Mhm.
phone and they gotta get going and you feel rushed to accommodate them like, okay, I'll just, yep, okay, okay. Not the case. Like the time that you have with your doctor is your time to understand your medicine, your prescriptions. What's the big picture?
Right.
What does that look like? Like side effects would be like what? Or if this drug doesn't work or this procedure doesn't work, then
Mhm.
what are we going to do? Or what are the
Right.
options then? And to have somebody, an advocate there to do
Oh,
that for
to
you
a
and
birthday
party,
right.
it helps, it gives you peace of mind as you go through it, unless you know it. Like I'm sure Nick handles her doctor's appointments just fine. She has that knowledge. I don't, so I
Yeah.
have her. um, that's just my recommendation is make sure you've got an advocate to help
Yes.
you go through your journey, because if you don't, you're probably missing a few things that would help you.
Yeah. So I just I love that. Um, I love that Nick taught me that when you go to a doctor's appointment, you need to take someone with you so that you have someone that's listening and can take notes because I went into my first doctor's appointment for cancer and I went with my daughter, Nick and my daughter, and I didn't hear anything. I didn't hear anything and they were telling me stuff that I needed to know. So it's good that you take someone with you. Um,
Have an
so yeah. I just wanted to shout out Trisha Pu'u, who's on. She lost a couple of family members and a few friends to COVID.
Oh,
And she was saying it's so frustrating to hear people say that it's not real. And it's so true. That pisses me off too, when that happens. And so I just,
how much sense does that make where people say, and I'll read that online a lot on message boards, people say, oh, dude died,
Mhm.
but he had diabetes, or he was this. It's like,
Right,
what? Because people have health conditions that make them more vulnerable to
right.
COVID. Suddenly that life doesn't, like if somebody were to run around with a machine gun and shoot everybody that had diabetes or
Mhm.
high blood pressure, that'd be a big deal. Like people wouldn't just go, "Oh, well, the guy he shot has."
Yeah.
Like I don't get the people who think that
Mhm.
unless you're, like a good example is Lay, right?
Yeah.
Lay is in amazing shape. She's a collegiate athlete. She didn't she didn't have any symptoms. It's like not everybody is
Right.
like that. Not everybody is a collegiate athlete. Not everybody's young. um, so yeah, the almost, I don't know, they're just callous, the disregard for people
It's
that pass
crazy.
away from it. And then to hear people say, it's a hoax. Well, my cousin passed away from a hoax, or your father, you know what I mean? Like the people
Right.
that are passing
Right.
away, those aren't hoaxes.
No, it's crazy. Good morning to Fia, who's checking in from Washington. Good morning, Fia.
Yeah,
Yeah, she's crazy amazing too. She was on Essence of Mana.
you guessed.
Yes, she was on Essence of Mana on Tuesday. So go check out that interview. Go to Essence of Mana's page and check out their interview with Fia. Lena is saying she's still on oxygen from COVID. So sorry, Lena. Hope you get better. And then Linoy Samia, good morning. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you everyone for tuning in this morning. We appreciate you. We appreciate your time. And then if you can share, share, and then we can get like some COVID information out there for you. But yeah, that crazy, crazy week. And I'm so grateful to be able, I'm set free tomorrow. I'm set free tomorrow. So we're going to be looking at office space tomorrow. We had an office in South City, and because of COVID, the building got shut down, and then they lost some space, and so we moved out, which took us like a day. And then now we are going to look for office space because we technically were taking up my dining room or my breakfast nook. And so I'm looking forward to getting our own space again. And
About this, it's going to be our one, two, three. It's going to be our fourth place that the FICA podcast has broadcast from. FCC Free Radio, South City. Well, actually, two places in your house: the dining room, then the Nook, and then our office we move into. So hopefully, we find a home that we'll be in for a couple of years.
right. There's a whole bunch of Christmas programs going on. If you're in need of food or, resources, please reach out to Samoan Community Development Center. If you're in San Francisco, they can help you get some food and some resources that you may need. Um, we also, do we start on time?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, you're right. You're right.
And so, if you're needing any kind of resources, because California is on lockdown again, and they've started closing up, nail salons, hair places, restaurants. You can eat outside. It's winter. It's freezing. Well, it's freezing for California. So,
Yeah, I'm
um,
sure there's plenty of people listening to that going,
right.
"How do you
They're like,
guys even
that
know
ain't
you have a winter?
freezing.
It's like 50 degrees during the day."
I know. So, but it's cold. It's cold. So a lot of restaurants are shutting in, you can't dine inside. So you're either dining outside or you're ordering out, pick up. So just really be careful, wash your hands, wear your mask, wear gloves if you want to be extra, which is not really being extra, it's being careful. And check out, Koviki Talk. We're on tomorrow. Monday at 5 o'clock, we'll be right here, Koviki Talk. And then Tuesday, we'll be here again at 5 o'clock. Wednesday, you can find us on Island City Media Group. And that's, you download the Dash Radio app, search Island City Media, and look for us Wednesday at 10 a.m. Go download the Dash Radio app. So there you go. We're everywhere. We're also in LA at 106.1 KALI. We have our Koviki Talk series playing.
All the things we do with hundreds of thousands in the last half of the year, over a million
Right.
views. The thing I get the most enjoyment out of saying is 106, 106.1 on your FM dial.
106.1 on your FM dial. Check out KALI. We were on there. They replay Koviki Talk. So it's awesome. Awesome team out there. I think.
What you
And
doing this week?
this week I have to start Christmas shopping, which I hate Christmas shopping.
Don't you do it all on Amazon or?
Yeah, and I usually buy now I'm usually done. But I haven't even started,
I'm
and we're
turning in.
not really celebrating Christmas this year. I mean, we are celebrating Christmas, but we're trying not to give gifts just for the babies.
Mm,
So everyone's just getting gifts for the babies. We're going to be working on vision boards. We're going to be doing vision boards during Christmas. So that'll be different and
that's
awesome
a
at the
great
same time.
family event.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. So I'm looking forward to everybody's vision board. Happy birthday to all the December babies. Yeah, I think that's it. I think we're
Good.
good.
All in,
Yeah.
all done?
Anything for you?
No, I'm gonna hopefully with you. We're gonna lock down an office space, I think, this week. And
Nackie
then
with Nackie.
snacky with Nackie we got to do tomorrow.
I,
We can fire
I
that back up after.
yeah,
Uh,
hopefully tomorrow we'll get to do Snacky with Nackie. We have $813. I need to tip someone, so that'll be good. We just need to find a restaurant that will take us.
I think we will. I think
Yeah, we will. So Snacky with Nacky tomorrow, $813. So yay. Thank you for everyone who donated. We have been behind because of COVID. COVID took me out. So $813 Snacky with Nacky. How about that?
how about that?
How about that? So I think we're good to go.
Take us home.
Take us home. Thank you for tuning in to the FICA broadcast. We are here all the time. Don't miss us. Please check us out, Island City Media, every Wednesday at 10 a.m. Download the Dash Radio app. Find us everywhere. Koviki Talk, everywhere, everywhere. Have a great week and come back to FICA with us.
Love you.